So let's call it spade a spade. If it's Okechukwu, call him Okechukwu. If it's Ife, say it's Ife. If it's Muhammad, say it's Muhammad. No, let's call it spade a spade. If you're watching this video, or if you're back on my channel watching a video, I just want to tell you you're awesome and thank you for coming back every time to watch my videos. If you haven't subscribed, please click on the subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up.
I will send you a bag of popcorn if you subscribe. I'm not going to send you.
Give me a thumbs up because you like the video and comment because this will be interesting.
Yes, drop a comment and on the night recharge card. You know, it's political.
So yeah, I will kick you off this video.
And you invited me.
I did invite him, guys. Let's give a round of applause.
Does it have to be round?
No, I have to make it extra. For Tonye Bakare, he's the online editor for The Guardian Nigeria. Now, if you were glued to like everything happening on politics last week and you were on The Guardian Nigeria page at any time, he was holding it down. So on this episode of Conversations with Chi, basically I was angered by the election, the process, the results, and I'm not an authority and I'm not shy to call someone else at any point in time. If you know me, if I don't know the thing, I will come and ask you, I will trouble you until you get it done for me. But yeah, so that's why I decided to drag Tonye to come and have this conversation with us about the election and everything. So I'll just be...
Can I ask you a question? Am I going to get paid for appearing on your video?
Definitely, in love and kindness.
Oh, you've already given me the love. I need the money.
In love and kindness.
See, politicians share money, and they also share the violence. You can't give me what you already gave me before.
It was a crazy experience. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, like the whole week has been crazy. And for me, the reason why I wanted to have a conversation around it is, what are we doing as Nigerians to facilitate this process or enable this process or even get to that point where we're better for it? So I want Tonye to just speak, because he will be speaking statistically. I will just be asking the emotional, heartfelt questions, but he will be speaking statistically. So what was your expectations generally for this 2019 elections? Everybody kind of thought it was going to be another defining one, but what were your expectations, like having all the stats that you have?
Actually, I didn't think anything was going to change. I talked to a few people before the elections and I basically told them that Buhari was going to win. Not because I'm a supporter of Buhari, but I looked at the situation around and I looked at the sort of people that we have contesting, the front runners, what they have against them, what they don't have against them, what they have, where they are going for them, and then if you look at the picture, you step away from the frame and you look at the bigger picture outside of the frame, you will see that Buhari had better chance of winning that article. And the reason was because I looked at the areas where each person and each party was stronger than okay. At the end of the day, probably have another 4 years of Buhari and I was not proven wrong. Am I happy that Buhari won? I don't know. Am I sad? I don't know. But at the end of the day, what every Nigerian wants really is a good life, a good country where everything works.
Where everything works, basically. So for me, it's second question I'd ask is, even though Buhari had the chances and, you know, based on what you're saying, we spoke to a couple of people and it still felt like another 4 years of Buhari, didn't the civilians and citizens have any role to play in that decision being what it is? Because, you know, I've seen videos and memes about how the people voted for Atiku, but INEC, you know, made Buhari president and whatnot. And that's something we've gone to accept. I don't know what the budget was for this election. I can't remember the number, but it's in a billion.
It was huge. It
was a very huge budget, only for it to be calculated manually. Because I'm thinking the reason for this to be like this, guys, what I'm basically trying to say is that there was a lot of nonsense, do you understand, around this. How did the citizens influence even a political decision to say, you know what, Buhari is going to win another 4 years?
Well, this is not a problem of politicians alone.
That's why I'm asking about the civilians. Because to be honest, we know our politicians. We know the story of the politicians. What are we doing? What are you doing to make sure that this is not something that is like, we know them, it's like Twitter fingers, fastest fingers. Once we're done with this particular trend, we're moving on to the next. I'm sorry guys, I think I'm...
She's emotional. But here's my take on that really. Two things. One, politicians will not be able to run successfully if they don't have active citizens who are complicit in their shenanigans. Okay, let's take the case of citizen Demola who was beaten in Okota.
Yeah.
A politician or somebody who has influence could probably, see, this is what we need you to do for us at this particular location. The politician won't go there to do the scattering, beating those who have come to vote and all of those things. But we have people who themselves are actually suffering, being willing, to do the bidding
and
of
that's because that is their reality. They've been paid. That 10,000, that 5,000 will go a long way. So one of the things I was saying, I can't remember what day it was to someone, was that the fact that the people in government and the politicians have taken away your power to be a full, complete citizen, because they don't empower us through education. They don't empower us through stuff like enlightenment. If you're not empowered, if you're not educated, if you're not enlightened, you can buy your votes for 10,000 naira for the rest of your life. This is my question. The 1%, or maybe the 2% that are aware, that are enlightened, that know. One of what's her name? Abimbola Craig on Danny TV went out to vote. She was so upset. Like, at her polling unit, a lot of people that went out to vote kept on saying that we have no youth here. Everybody's on Twitter writing, but there's nobody out in the polling units. For me, I was going to vote. They didn't release my card and my sister, but every other person in my house went to vote. Every other person in my house had their PVC. So now I can only vote for my governor, but I cannot vote for the president. But I was very proud of my family that each and every one of us exercised that civic duty. So my question here is now for that 1-2%, because now we've gotten mad, and that's about it. You've gotten mad, you've written tweets, you've gotten 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 retweets, and you're fine. But the next 4 years...
So now, it's not even about getting mad. See, you can get mad and not act on it.
Which is what I'm talking about.
When you get mad about what politicians do, then you have to look at yourself. What am I supposed to do to make this situation change? Then let me go back to that situation that I mentioned before, Demola. No. He could have said, no, I don't want your 10,000.
Yeah.
Then what will happen? If all of the thugs that they used during the election have rejected the money, probably will have minimum. See, they can.
Tonye, how do you want to tell someone who that 5,000, 10,000 that you're giving,
but that
defines
that 10,000 won't last more than a week if it actually extends.
But you're talking about from your own perspective. This is. Do you know how the average Nigerian lives?
I am aware of the reality of that. But the fact is that the 5,000 or the 10,000 you are offered cannot last you 4 years.
But their mentality is already impoverished.
Okay.
It's already impoverished. So
and you think they are not empowered naturally to decide between what is good and what is right?
I think in Nigeria we necessarily create bloodlines between what is good and what is bad. And I'm
telling you, the bloodlines.
Yes, I'm not saying that we did not. That's what I'm saying. We've created the bloodlines because it's a situation where having long legs is a good thing. Cutting corners, cutting this, cutting that is a good thing. So yes, we've created those bloodlines. So you cannot come out now and say, like, if you stay in traffic and you're in your proper lane, people will think you're mad. Do you understand?
Yeah.
If you do the right thing, people think you're crazy. What's wrong with this one? That is the country that we're in. So why are you not telling me if people that are enlightened will still follow one way, will still cut corners, will still run the red light? Okay. You're not talking about thugs.
Now, all of those things.
To be like honorable.
No.
There's no honor amongst thieves.
I'm not saying they should be honorable. Okay, even some things that have
they should do the right thing.
I'm not saying don't box me into it. I'm saying someone who is a thug chooses to be a thug.
Yeah.
maybe certain circumstances.
Yes.
But then, at the end of the day, you are only looking for a short-term solution to your problems. It's the same thing for somebody who has been forced by circumstance to go into prostitution. But you could have maybe taken to selling things in the market. Maybe the money won't come easy, but going into prostitution.
So what's?
Because I'm saying here that we all know what is right. We all know what is wrong. But a lot of times we tend to go for what is wrong because it offers short-term solution. A thug will earn 10,000, 5,000, maybe 50,000 to scatter or to disrupt election. But at the end of the day, how long will that money last?
Not too long.
Not too long. And then you go back to the reality, then you join the people that are going to be complaining. So it means that every human being in Nigeria, every person that has been angered by the political process has to start thinking, what can I do as an individual to make things right? Because politicians won't help you think. As a matter of fact, they benefit when we are divided, when we start thinking about, no, Hausas don't like Igbo, Igbos don't like Yoruba, Yoruba don't like Hausa.
Which was also one thing that happened on Saturday. There was now mention of tribalism, especially
when people are divided. It enables politicians to be able to carry out their plans. But when you are united in your purpose, like, wait, we need to kick out those that are not performing, you have a lot of numbers. For those who you think you are going to entrust your responsibilities, the responsibility of governing Nigeria into, like, we trust you to do the right thing. We don't want this guy in there anymore. When you have a lot of numbers behind the new people, politicians won't be able to read.
So the two things I'm getting from this is, if this election period did anything to your heart, if it gave you obindoji, I don't know if that's how we say it, but I like to say obindoji when it concerns certain situations. If this election really did anything to you, making you feel like you could have done more, then maybe you should do more. Which is why this week I'm always picking people's heads. I came and I told Tonye about Roots Community, which I've actually, if you check my Twitter account, I opened it since like September. And the aim of this community is to empower, to enlighten, and to educate. So it's still in its infant stage. So if you're open to being a part of this community, in the sense where we go out to sensitize local government area on social issues, social vices, like different local government areas where that they do not have any of these things, or there's no light, there's like literally it's dark and there's no light coming into them, reach out to me. Educate is that I have at least 5 kids that I would like to sponsor, not to just schools but places where they can actually grow. Maybe it's actually true formal education or like vocation. If you're interested in that, also let us know. I think those are the 2 things that we're trying for now. And also unity. It was really irritating to see people on Twitter lose the facts behind what was happening just to make something trend. I think we do that a lot. If you are a smart and a wise person, and I beg you, when you're coming at me, get my handle right, so that when I'm coming back, I'm not lost. Like, where did you tag me? Tag me correctly. If you were well informed, you would have realized that the places that were where the most violence was occurring was in places where they knew they were not going to win. So if people like one of the colleagues we have in the office, Oma, was telling me that they all voted. They came and they threw everything on the floor. And this is what she said. She said it wasn't really about the tribe. They just knew that this place will vote PDP, and they came and they were doing it to everybody, Igbos, Yorubas. It was really upsetting to see people now coming to the social media sphere and I'm not saying there's no tribalism. I'm aware. There is tribalism.
But when it comes to
for this particular for this election, it was just politics. So let's call it a spade. If it's Okechukwu, call him Okechukwu. If it's Ife, say it's Ife. If it's Muhammad, say it's Muhammad. No, let's call a spade. And let's be united. Those are the 2 things I'm taking from this. If you're angry about the state of Nigeria right now, do something. Not just talk about it and end it. Do something. And understand the power we have as civilians in unifying ourselves, in unity, in making sure that we are standing against the people that we have put into power. Because whether you voted or you did not vote, you put this person into power. So those are the 2 things that...
Basically, at the end of the day, the repercussion of whatever happened on Saturday will be basically on the citizens.
Yeah.
A lot of us will probably relapse in terms of economic power, But who are these politicians using to do whatever?
The citizens.
Citizens. One, you look at Rivers State, always known for violence when it comes to election. About 16 people died. Yeah. You will never hear one son of a politician being among them.
I mean, my friend, should I call him my friend? I don't know if Chin watches my video. But Chin sent me a video that I don't know if he did or he knew the people that did them, and then the guy was basically this guy was a thug, and a rich man had called him concerning the elections. And the guy said, one of our boys had died the last one that we did. So send your son. Send your son to come and join us, because you think we will not need those NNPC job where they give your children. Now when election come, we go to die. And I love, as much as I love that video, I kept on asking him and asking myself, I don't think it will reach the people that actually need to see this and connect with this.
The thought that you mentioned, I had the decency to say no, or I had the mind to say I am not going to be a sacrificial lamb for any politician. And he said, okay, if you are interested in scratching the election, why don't you invite your son?
Okay.
So let's assume all of them take such decision.
What Tonye said, guys, we need to wrap this up. Thank you so much, for sticking. I'm trying to keep this under 20 minutes. The last one was like 25.
Next governorship election, we probably need to turn out 35% of those who register for this election.
We need to do better, guys.
Voted. That number is probably the lowest in the history of Nigeria.
Yeah,
we need to do better.
We need to do
if
better,
you
guys.
need to make your voice heard, you need to turn up. When you turn up, they can't turn you down. When you have a lot of numbers out there, it's probably it's a bit difficult for them to read. But when you don't turn out, they will use your number in your absence. Yeah. It's like using your destiny when you are not even there.
Thank you, guys. I need to wrap this up for you, for your data, and because we literally crashed an office space to do this. So
she cost it. She dragged me away from the office to come and crash.
Please don't forget to subscribe. It's right there, and then give the video a thumbs up.
Yeah, remember I promised popcorn, so when you subscribe.
Also, I'll put all his Instagram, Twitter, and everything handles below. Alright?
Yeah.
Peace.